is time for the news that broke glass, episode 8. Today is the 20th of April. I should have done this a little while ago, like my last video, but hey ho, here we are. People are busy, you know, still in lockdown. Not long to go. Anyway, so this is just going to be some updates and news, not too much, just a tiny little smidgen of an episode of all the Deathmatch news that's coming up. So, we'll start with Game Changer fucking Wrestling. So their show, May 1st at the Showboat, Ashes to Ashes, we have got some updates for that show. We have got Nolan Edward appearing. Good for fucking Nolan Edward. That man deserves fucking cash. We have got a glass ceiling death match, which people are surmising is going to be like panes of glass above the ring and then they drop. I kind of thought that it might have been, this match is between G Raver and Jimmy Lloyd, by the way, to continue their never-ending feud, so it seems. I thought it maybe be, the glass ceiling would either be a ladder with the light tubes on top, with like Raver, how Raver got injured, and then Raver could like injure kayfabe Jimmy Lloyd, maybe to end it finally. They do have really, really good matches, but it seems like, you know, they wrestle like every month now. We've got Joey Janelle versus Lee Moriarty, be alright. And we've got Team Busy, which is Effie and Alley Cat, versus Iron Beast, which is Shea Mercer and KTV, so that'll be fucking interesting. Show looks good so far, I'm going to watch it live. I love anything that's really at the Showboat. And then we've got draft date updates, which is in Las Vegas. We've got one name announced so far for it, which is Leo Rush. What a surprise. Now onto ICW No Holds Barred. Nice t-shirts, thank you. I bought them, by the way, they didn't fucking send me them before anybody says anything. We've got updates for Boardwalk Buds, which is at the fucking Showboat, June 25th. What is it? To June 27th. The cat just appears when you need to record stuff. Don't you? Good cat. We've got Ruben fucking Steele appearing. That's fucking great. Love Ruben Steele, one of my favourite wrestlers at the minute. We have got the ICW No Holds Barred American Deathmatch Championship defended for the first ever time. John Wayne Murdoch against Sadiqa. That'll be fucking sick. That'll be at NHB Unlucky 13. We've also got Sadiqa against Kimber Lee, which is for Pitfire X7. And for Pitfire X7 as well, we've got Justin Kyle versus Phil Baroni, who I've never heard of before. So we've got some matches getting announced. It's still, you know, far away. It's very end of June. Ages and ages and ages away. Now, we have got new shows announced. So for August 13th and 14th, we've got the Pit and the Chains. I assume 13th for the Pit, 14th for the Chains. It's coming to San Antonio, Texas. Thanks to Heavy Metal Pro, which is Ruben Steele's company. So they're running 2 shows, 2 days, that'll be interesting. And we've got Indianapolis has been announced, which is going to be 2 days, 2 shows. And I'm assuming it's going to be in July after Boardwalk Buds, but it could, because there's not been a date announced for this so far, the information's going to come this week. It could be in May. Who knows? It could be in fucking May. Who fucking knows? Now, I will move on to a little review, because this is why I was waiting a few days to do this, was to review IWA Double Death and H2O's Misery Business. And I'll start with IWA's Double Death because obviously it's IWA, they don't do everything. Now, the show was fucking good. Very good. I like almost all of the talent involved. Kevin Giza got a clean pin over Ricky Shane Page. Ian Rotten ran in because his son was fucking bleeding buckets and attacked John Wayne Murdoch to jump in for the Bloody Brothers, and people were very, very happy and shouting, "You've still got it, Ian." Some sick fucking bumps and gusset plate shots, and Satu Jin and John Wayne Murdoch. My pick for the finals did happen. Satu Jin and John Wayne Murdoch were fighting the Prince and the King of the Death, Akis Kogar and Eric Ryan, in the finals, which was a bloody brutal light tube disgusting match. Satu Jin taking a big bump to the floor, like Akis gave him a sort of double drop kick, like a big run in, like right to the face, and they went right at the ring through a table with barbed wire and light tubes. Sick fucking bump. Really, really good show. I like, also one of my new favourite wrestlers is Herzog. I've seen a lot more of his promos now. He's very fucking funny. He's a good. They should get him in the chains. Get Herzog in the chains. And as I've said, Danny DeManto, we need more tag matches. Obviously, tornado tag matches in the chains, which I think might actually happen. I think they might actually have the Kirks versus Ocean and Riley in a tag thing in the chains. Maybe. Who knows? That was another thing for updates for before I go into the Double Death for more things for Double Death. For ICW No Holds Barred, we also could potentially be having a light tube prison match between Schlack and Shane Mercer. Anyway, so Double Death was awesome, and obviously at the very end of the show, the only thing I will say about it, the camera work is very, very shoddy sometimes, because obviously they're tornado tag team matches, so one person's out the ring fighting somebody, the other person's in the ring fighting somebody, and you're only half like catching people are getting hit with light tubes, they're missing them, you're getting hit, there's no sort of replays or anything, somebody's getting hit with a light tube, they've missed it, somebody's doing this, they've missed it, it's a bit crap, but you know, whatever, it's Double Death, it was pretty good, I'm glad all the guys are getting a payday. Kevin Giesel looked like $1 million fucking bucks, Insane Lane was looking pretty good, but Satu Jin, John Wayne Murdoch, Satu Jin, like, is really, really going fucking hardcore these days. He's one of the big rising stars in the deathmatch world. So I mean, IWA Double Death was pretty good. The right team won. Obviously, Satu Jin turned on John Wayne Murdoch. My God, disgusting. So hopefully we'll get a disgustingly brutal, hardcore, violent light tube deathmatch between those two. And 4401, the team of Eric Ryan and Atticus Kogar. So that was fucking good. So that was Double Death. I have not yet watched the Trainwreck thing. I will try and watch it and maybe review it for the next episode. There's been too much fucking wrestling. There's been so much to catch up on, so much stuff, so much wrestling. And anyway, I also watched H2O's Misery Business, which was on what days? Today is now Tuesday. It's okay, maybe. And this was on Saturday. So the show was good. Almost every single match was worth watching. I'm trying to think for no notes off the top of my head to try and remember. Louis Ramos got beat by Atticus Kogar, so Atticus Kogar's now in Hardcore Kingdom. Louis Ramos bled buckets. Atticus won like he should do because he's Atticus fucking Kogar. What else did we have? Jeff Cannonball beat Bam Sullivan in a really good hardcore match with a fucking sick chair shot and a big suplex through like a bed frame covered in barbed wire. So Jeff Cannonball's the new H2O Danny Havoc hardcore champion. I forget the young guy's name, but he beat Brandon Kirk in a really good match, I thought. Brandon Kirk's so fucking underrated. What else did we have? We had Devin Moore and some young... If I don't know these young guys' names because I've not written anything down, I'm trying all these notes off. Internal notes. The Grimy Bastards is their tag team name. They got beat by 440, the Bev and Eric Ryan. That match was good. Chuck Payne beat Casanova Valentine, and Casanova Valentine attacked him after the match. Awesome fucking match. I like Chuck Payne. G Raver was beaten. 440 destroyed H2O that night. They won every match. And Gregory Irons also beat... Who did Gregory Irons beat? Marcus Mathers. Gregory Irons beat Marcus Mathers, that young guy who's awesome as well. And in the main event we had G Raver came out on like a car with 440 like spray painted on the front. Fuck 440 spray painted on the front. And it was a really good match between Jimmy and RSP. Lots of good crowd reaction. The crowd's always really hot at H2O. And it was really, really good. It was really, really good. And RSP won. And then at the end of it, they had Matt Tremont in the ring. They attacked him with a chair. He was bleeding everywhere. They were going to attack Matt Tremont's wife with fucking light tubes. And Matt Tremont came out to stop him. And fucking RSP powerbombed, like Razor's Edge style, powerbombed G Raver over the ropes onto Matt Tremont through the car windshield. And everybody was told to fuck off and get out of the arena. Matt Tremont's hurt. So I assume they're just going to lead this up for Matt Tremont coming back for one more match against RSP. That's bound to happen. Bound to happen. And the best match of the night was Jimmy Lyon versus Mickey Knuckles in a housekeeping match, good housekeeping match. There was washing baskets and a mop covered in gussets and a water jug back covered in plastic forks and an ironing board back covered in plastic forks, and they were both pissing blood. They kicked the shit out of each other. Unfortunately, Jimmy Lyon lost, but my god, every single match that guy has, he gets better and better and better, and it was violent and it was bloody, and just the sick shots. There were like head-butting like little flower pots in each other's faces, and my god, it was just a disgustingly violent, brutal death match, and it was great. Match of the night, if you ask me. I think I've covered all the card. I can't think of anything I've missed, but if I have, I'm sure somebody will tell me. But yeah, so H2O's Misery Business is probably my favourite H2O show to date. Loved it. Love almost like pretty much every single person on the card. The main event was awesome. Best match of the night was Jimmy Lyon, Chondo against Mickey Knuckles. And we had some really, really good matches before 4-0, just laying waste to H2O and Matt Tremont and the storyline. It was just really, really good. Good storytelling and good wrestling. That's what H2O was. And now we'll move on to CCW, Crimson Crown Wrestling's update. So the two Supreme shows on May 29th and May 30th are going to be on IWTV now. Interesting. I think that's only just been announced. And we've got the final matches, so we've already got announced for the tournament is Sage Sin against Schlack in a light tube log cabin death match, if I remember correctly. Now we've got the other 4 matches, so we've got BC Killer versus T-Rex in a Gloves and Boards of Pain death match. Gloves of Pain. Who knows? They've got sandpaper and tacks on them and shit. We've got Mosh Pit Mike versus Akira, who's actually cleared of COVID now, negative. Fucking very, very bad news for him over the fucking weekend, missing out on all those fucking bookings. What a fucking shame for the man. But he's fine now. He's going to be fighting Mosh Pit Mike in a Guns N' Roses death match. Rose bushes and fuck knows. Tasers, handguns, who knows. And finally, John Wayne Murdoch is going to fight Fern Owens in a Thumbtack Massacre match. So that's the first announced match. So it's going to be on IWTV at the very end of May, which is good. I'll be watching that. Now, on to some UK deathmatch news. Actually, real deathmatch news from the UK. My goodness me. Tear in my eye. So, we've got the TNT Extreme, the company of Liverpool, are going to be hosting a show called Going Off Big Time, which is going to be the Hangar 34 in Liverpool, which they host pretty much all their shows, on June 26th. And they're going to have a 4-way death match for a new Extreme champion. And so far we've got 2 names announced, Big Fucking Joe and Jack Jester from Scottish ICW fame, so that'll be fucking good. Wonder who the other 2 guys will be, maybe Clint Margera and... I'd like to see some other Rise guys in that, but speaking of Rise, a segue, Rise has got a 4-man, I think it's a tournament, a 4-man tournament called the Outlaw Cup. It was for Deathmatch Outlaws clothing line. They're all part of, I think. I've got Deathmatch Outlaws t-shirts somewhere. This is on September 3rd, which is going to be held at the Eager Studios in Leeds. It's Big Fucking Joe, Michael Caden, Lou Nixon and Danny Darko in a 4-man tournament for some sort of a 4-man deathmatch tournament. So we've actually got some UK fucking deathmatch stuff coming up. Thank the fucking Lord. Now, we'll move on to finally Japan. We've got very few. Sometimes when I do these things, I look in Japan and there's been like 8 shows in the space of like 5 days, and you're like, oh great, and they're all got Deathmatch Survivor stuff, but they're not. So finally, on the 4th of the 4th, for Freedoms in Osaka, I didn't even know this show was happening. I'm just going to talk about the death matches. Where Yuki beat Rina Yamashita in a hardcore match. We had a light tube 6-man death match, which was Evil Ruler ends. So many things. Rage Against the whatever. Which was Takeda, Sakura and Violento Jack of ERE beat Masayoka, Kasai and Segura. So good fucking times for ERE. Good to see Masayoka there involved in the death matches, because he's not been so involved in that storyline thus far. Kept kind of down the card. And into Big Japan now for the Deathmatch Survivor. There's only been one show. And I did actually see one of the matches that was on this. So we had, this was at Corrigan Hall, this was on the 12th of April. In a non-tournament barbed wire boards match, we had Haido, Drew Parker and Hoshino beat Numazawa, Takahashi and Ishikawa. So that looks alright, I'd quite like to see that, but I didn't see that match, and I didn't see this next match either. So for Block D of the Deathmatch Survivor, we had a Light Tubes and Bring Your Own Weapons deathmatch. Isami Kodaka beat Osami Kodaka beat Kam Itani. Osami Kodaka beat Kamitani. I'll pretend that was the first take of that. And then for the next one, just Block C, was an Insect Zapper board deathmatch, and I did watch this. And Ito beat Fujita, and it was really, really good. The sort of electric little bug zapper things were on a board in the corner. There's a barbed wire board. Ito gave Fujita a big frog splash from the thing through a table on the outside. They're rolling around in the bug zapper board, so it was really, really fucking good. So that is the small amount of deathmatch news for this episode. But as always, this has been the news that broke glass. I am Andrew Crammond. Thanks for all the support over Mania Week and for all the fucking music video stuff I've put up. Hopefully I can grow the channel even bigger and bigger and bigger. And as we always say, no deathmatch, no life.